Hello, and welcome to this machinima on using the guided tour learning archetype in Second Life. Guided tours allow your students to explore locations they may not have the opportunity to visit in real life. For example, currently my avatar, Brandy Feniza, is standing in a virtual representation of the Sistine Chapel. This is a location your learner may not have the opportunity to experience because of its location in another country, hundreds of thousands of miles away. In addition to allowing learners to explore new locations, Second Life's virtual 3D interface provides students the opportunity to interact with objects on the screen. This provides a truly immersive experience. The guided tour can also be used to help learners understand relationships between locations and features within an area. Tours can be led by a facilitator who points out various items to the student, virtually guided by a pre-programmed 3D object, or self-directed, in which the learner follows instructions from a note card. During this machinima, you will learn how to conduct an instructor-led tour, how to plan a self-guided tour using note cards, and we will look at some example Second Life locations in which tours can be conducted. So, let's get started. First, we will explore instructor-led guided tours. Follow me. As an instructor, you can choose to give a guided tour by having your students meet you in a specific location in Second Life. Once you have assembled your students in the same location, you can begin the tour. Keep in mind that it may take a few minutes for all of your students to transport to the correct location. Once all of your students have arrived, have them follow you as you point out important features of the location. For example, in this tour, I am guiding my student through a historic Roman gladiator arena. I would want to point out important features, such as the balcony where fans would be seated. I might also want to show my students the animal cage. I could also show them where the gladiator weapons are stored. My students could even try the weapons out. Instructor-led guided tours are a great way to make sure students notice the important features of an area. Next, let's take a look at self-guided tours. Rather than leading your students through the tour, you can choose to create a self-guided tour. A self-guided tour allows your students to work at their own pace and revisit the location as many times as they need to. You can create a self-guided tour by using note cards in Second Life. To create a note card, first click on your inventory. In the menu, at the top, click on Create. Then click New Note. A note card will appear on your screen. Be sure to add a description for your note. Then you can click inside the note card to type your directions for learners. You can even give learners a swirl that they can use to teleport directly to the location. A swirl is a Second Life URL. When you're finished typing your instructions, click Save. Your note will appear in your inventory as New Note. Be sure to rename the new note, otherwise you may forget what the contents of the note are. Your students can also use note cards to take notes at the location. Now let's look at an example of a self-guided tour. In this example, the instructions on our note card lead us to NOAA Island. NOAA stands for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The instructions tell us to explore some of the interactive weather demonstrations at the site, such as the tsunami or the hurricane simulator. Then it instructs us to create a note card at each of those demonstrations and describe our impressions of each of the weather phenomena. As the instructor, you want to make sure that your instructions are clear, as you will not be present during the tour to answer students' questions. There are numerous locations that you can have your students tour within Second Life. There are museums, such as the National Spaceflight Museum, seen here, aquariums, concerts, hospitals, science exhibits, and even foreign countries. In Second Life, the sky is the limit. Now let's review. A guided tour allows your students to explore a virtual location in depth. The tour can be instructor-led, in which the instructor guides students through the location, pointing out its important features. Or the tour can be self-directed, in which the student follows the note card or some other device and explores the location at his or her convenience. That's it! I hope you've enjoyed this machinima and will consider using guided tours in your instruction.